Hi guys, welcome to Music B&B. I'm Callum, and today I'm going to try and record an independent band, my brother's band, in around 8 hours using limited equipment because I'm not made of money, and I'm going to see what I can come up with. So I've got a few mics. I've brought my computer with me, and we're going to try and record the band. So this is recording a band on a budget. I'm kind of here early, so I'm kind of waiting for them to turn up. Let's do a hand transition into the studio. What
are you doing at the moment?
I am just getting the computer loaded up. I brought all my stuff from home. I'm going to load it up and then we're going to connect some wires. I'm going to try and do drums in a bit. I'm going to record 4 tracks of drums.
Nice.
See what happens.
Yeah, is that the first step?
That's the first step. This is what I had at home. This is what I built up over years. So I've got 2 monitors from M Audio. They're probably ancient now, as well as a Lexicon Alpha interface and a Focusrite 2i2 Scarlett interface that I've collected over the years, along with a Shure SM58, which is my baby that I've just left lying on the desk. That is not cool, don't ever do that. And an iMac, which I bought a while ago. Unfortunately, yes, for this guy's recording the budget, you are going to need equipment, but you don't need an iMac. You could just have a laptop or something else. It doesn't have to be as expensive as my setup. And I also had a few Shure mics from the past when I used to do gigging knocking about, so I thought I'd use those too. My software was Logic Pro, but you can go even cheaper and use something free like GarageBand, or on Windows, something else.
Okay.
So what do you do with these then? They were just to protect the stuff inside there, but...
Those are our costumes for the recording. Our drummer has arrived.
Good morning. Afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Oh, this looks sexy.
Yeah, that's exactly the word I would use. This is George. What are you up to?
Trying to remember the songs.
What are you up to, Simon?
Just working on the xylophone solo.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's really good. I think it's almost too good.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, maybe bin it. What are we doing with these drum mics then?
Hello. We've got a C1 Behringer, which is an old mic that was really cheap, but I'm going to use it as an overhead. In fact, it was so old that it did not work at all. It was all crackly, so we ended up using one of the mics that were there in the studio for band practices. Then I've got this Shure SM58, which you probably shouldn't use to record a bass drum with, but we're just going to record a bass drum, so we're just going to use...
So we're doing it anyway?
Yeah, we're doing it anyway. But yeah, we're just going to use 2 mics, and then in post-production we're going to basically try and mix it with some electronic acoustic drums, and see if it sounds any good. Because I watched a YouTube tutorial that showed it, and it seemed like a good idea.
Cool. Sorry, I kept moving the camera there. I kept thinking you'd stopped talking, and then you hadn't.
Moments later.
So what have we done now, Callum?
Right, well, we've just moved the table forward because my headphones don't reach the drum kit. So
yeah.
This is budget recording. That's how long you got, a metre and a half of
That's
headphones.
An important part of the recording process, isn't
Well,
it?
yeah, because you don't want any bleed from the speakers and other things going into it. So you have to record just Fraser can hear it. This is like that book, like Recording for Dummies kind of stuff, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
This is for the chorus of Hasty, you ready?
you reckon? Is there a way you can feed it under the...
No.
The first thing I would advise doing is trying to record the drums first. So I had a backing track made up with a metronome so that the drummer could play along with that. It's just called a scratch demo. So something that's just a throwaway demo that the drummer can play along with. So the drummer had to play along with that in time.
Yeah, shut up. Silence! Sorry.
So recording 101, make sure everyone else is quiet in the room when you're recording. Otherwise anything will get onto the mics.
Nice. That was good. I actually like what you did, you know, when you were trying to do that transition we were just talking about. You ended up doing something completely different, but it was like quite good actually.
Are we going to get all 4 tracks done on drums? The drums take the longest, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't forget that bass is basically part of the meat and potatoes of the band. If you get the drums and the bass right,
then the guitar, the singing will just follow. They are the most important parts to get right. Oh, and by the way, if you've come here looking for something about mic placement, this is not the place for that. I literally just placed the mics in front of the amps. I wasn't messing around. I didn't have the time to listen back and think carefully about where the mics were placed. I also wasn't recording in a different room, you know, other from the studio. So I was in there in the mix. So I just pointed 2 mics and then hoped that some of them would sound good.
My phone isn't doing it.
Haha. How old's your phone?
It's an iPhone 11.
There is test of still as well.
Mine didn't do it
Right.
either.
Test over.
Me and Simon are at
Government don't control
yeah,
our
we
phone,
live
man.
outside the Matrix, man.
They're starting to believe.
We live outside the system.
So an important tip, if you can, bring some towels or hoodies or things like that that you can just drop onto things that resonate and make noise. You don't want any sounds of drums or any other sounds bleeding in to the sounds of the instruments you're playing. So make sure to put stuff over them to dampen them, block out the extra sound. And then it's a case of rinse and repeat, pointing mics at the amps for the guitarists.
Because my heart is made of stone, and when you're made of stone, you don't make so easy.
Try to leave the singing till last. There's lots of reasons for this, but the main one is so that the singer can get the feel for the whole track, try to capture the energy of the day while they're there, and also try and find a spot in the room where there's early reflection, so you can see he's stood with his back against one of those soundboards to really capture the sound of the room. Studio after the recording day. This is the day after, well, the night after recording, and I have to say that was such an experience. I've never recorded a full band properly like that in my life. I've recorded bits of bands when I was at university, but never something full. So it was such an experience with all the experience and experience could. I'm going to try and mix this down. Just do all the boring work really of mixing it. So I'm going to explain a bit of what I'm planning on doing. I'm going to try and keep a lot of it as it was, but I'm thinking of adding electronic drums to mix in with the recorded drums, as there was only 2 mics for the drums, and it will give it a more full sound but still sound live. And then I'll be mixing vocals in. I might be trying to do a little bit of pitch correction here and there, which is very normal these days. Not like Lil Wayne pitch correction, just some nice tight pitch correction. And just work on getting it sounding as full as I possibly can. Let's see if I can do it.